The Office of Engagement and Extension at CSU is a founding partner of this summit. And they've had some recent changes in leadership. And today I'd like to introduce you to the new Vice President of Engagement and Extension at CSU, Blake Naughton, who's going to share a few words with you. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I am fresh here from the great state of Missouri. By fresh, I mean the moving truck came Tuesday. And I am sitting here in this room and looking at that vista and thinking, okay, I think I made the right choice. I like myself a good muddy river, but I'll take that. So thank you all for being a part of this and taking part today. As far as first week goes, this has been an incredible, good bookend. Started the week with the President's Advisory Committee on Agriculture, hearing from some of our great stakeholders with President McConnell about issues in Colorado and what's important. A great way for me to jump in the deep end and start to hear a little bit about the voices. And then coming at the end of the week, this summit, and hearing more about, well, what do we do about that? What the issues in Colorado are important, then how do we approach that in different ways? And that's really why I drug my family here from Missouri, is because this is a place of great risk. This is the West where we really truly innovate. Missouri's the show me state. It's known for a lot of things. I wouldn't say innovation's one of them. We wait till you show me, and then we'll fall in line maybe eventually after a good few decades of pondering. So it's fun to be here and at the beginning of the cutting edge. What I think is important about the engagement and extension mission is that we take those risks, but we take those risks toward impact. And I think what the panel yesterday said about telling our story, and Ms. Wara said yesterday about our food systems, is really about helping us to figure out the story of that impact and where that impact's going. If I'm anything, I'm a systems thinker. My background's actually in education. I was a professor of education. I'll be here in the Department of Human Development. And I've been working on education systems and the way that our systems of education can have a greater impact along the way. That's my approach to extension. Extension is an educational enterprise, after all. So how do we partner with producers, with the value chain in agriculture, and of course the other sectors that we serve as well, and bring in educational interventions and services to help move the needle. And move the needle on what? And that's what I try to bring in that systems approach. So as I was listening to the World Economic Forum piece yesterday, I was thinking a lot about that, about where we fit in and how we add value. And when I say add value, we add value horizontally. We add value in partnership with folks, and we add value vertically in the value chain with our producers and others. And I think working with you, those of you that are from our campus partnerships, and those of you that are off campus in our ag community, I really want to learn more about how we can, where we add the most value, and how we can really aggressively go at that, and how we could do that in kind of exciting ways. To me, that's part of an evolution. Right now, I think extension, in particular in this country, is on its third wave. And each of those waves, we've been innovators. And this may be our most aggressive innovation yet. And by that, I mean, historically, we were innovators back in the day. We started out when knowledge didn't come to our farmers very much. There wasn't many ways to get much information other than that ag agent in the county coming out with a guide sheet and explaining something to one of their local neighbors about what was a new innovation that they heard from the university about a new way of doing that. And we innovated in even the ways that we did that. When our corn producers weren't doing a lot of hybridized corn, we started corn clubs with kiddos and let the kids convince their parents that that was a better way to produce corn. And that's where 4-H and some other things like that got their roots. And we innovated then in the mid-century in our second wave about the way that we teach and the way that we do programming. And we expanded the numbers of people that we see and the numbers of audiences that we seek. We went more into community and economic development. We expanded what we could do with our youth. And we really tried to have a bigger presence. But the world keeps changing. And our next wave has to be even more evolved. And really what I take away from yesterday's talks is that evolution is toward knowledge navigation. Whereas extension agents used to really kind of be the holders of knowledge, and we're giving it to people who didn't have much access to other kinds of knowledge. Everyone has access now. We hear from our young farmers that they're Googling things while they're on their self-driving tractors, and they just want a YouTube video, not a Saturday-long program. They're getting information in a variety of ways. And a lot of ways that we can innovate and add value from the university is how to navigate that knowledge, how to bring it together, how to interpret all those data points coming in from a $500,000 tractor that's giving more data and information than a farmer even knows what to do with, and how do we make that into decision choices and do great things with that. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited about the framing, as Bora said yesterday, that means we're part of an ecosystem, where if it was really kind of bilateral at one point, from the university to our producers, we're part of a larger ecosystem in a more complex world. And what that means, and what Colorado State is way ahead of the curve in doing, is taking extension into an engaged way, meaning that we co-create what we're doing, we co-create the solutions that we're seeking, we co-create the problems and identification of the problems that we're going to solve and how we're going to do all that. And so I think that that's where that I'm excited to work with all of you in the next coming years. I'm excited about summits like this where we can have that kind of conversation and where we can learn from each other about where we ought to go together and how the university can be a great partner with others in that. So I appreciate going into that. I'm from Hannibal, Missouri, America's hometown. You didn't know that. I did wear Tom Sawyer short pants for a summer. Thanks to the Chamber of Commerce. So I got to close with a little bit about Mark Twain. Mark Twain was a big innovator as a writer because he was authentic to the voices of the people he wrote about. He was one of the first authors in America that really wrote like people talked, and at the time that was pretty controversial. What that taught me a lot is about the respect for the voices of the people that we serve and respect for listening, and that when you represent someone, you better represent them well. And I think that's part of the engaged mission of a place like Colorado State. That's why I'm deeply proud to be at a place that does a land acknowledgement like that, a land university, and understanding who was here first, and understanding that we are stewards of this land, stewards of this university. I'm just an interim. We're all just interims. We're just here to caretake the ship for a while before it goes on, and to listen to the voices of our partners and make sure that we're authentic to those voices and doing what's important to the people of this great state, and what's, in this case, very important to the agriculture industry that's going to feed and clothe the people of this world. So thank you for taking a couple days with us in December to come up here and be a part of this. Thank you to the College of Agricultural Sciences and everyone that was in that logo chart a minute ago for being co-sponsors of this. I look forward to meeting everyone who's representative of those logos, and thank you for your time over today.